guys.
Spaceteam.
I'm ready to Spaceteam. Go.
Spaceteam, go.
Spaceteam is an iOS application, completely free of charge.
Hyper alert, turn it on.
Hyper alert, and then B serve to full power.
Spaceteam is a game about yelling.
Everybody shout!
Safe.
It's about danger.
Jump the B cup.
Roll buckets of 2.
Roll holo table.
What happens when you bring yelling and danger together with a group of people?
Oh, God, flip and shake. I can't see anything. I can hit the wave buckle.
Engage friction lock.
And each person has a specific set, like a control panel in front of them that have specific functions, and then a direction on top. And it'll say things like, resolve the paradox.
Resolve paradox. Paradox resolve.
Oh, good. Set fuse vessel to 3. All you have to do to actually play the game is like push buttons or maybe set switches to a certain number or something.
You have these limited time to issue these commands, and usually you can't issue them yourself. You have to say, hey, this is a thing that needs to get done. It needs to get done now.
The metagame, I guess, within it becomes not like, how do I flip a lever or move the switch up and down, but like, how do I convey this information quickly and clearly while my spaceship is hurtling through space into the sun or whatever, and like, red lights are flashing and everybody's panicking.
Fuse flap.
Rinse the fluxer on.
Fuel flap open. Jump medijack.
But then it also makes you do, like you might all have to shake your iPad all at once to like avoid the asteroids.
I kept looking at him and he was like, turn it like this, and I was turning it like that, and we kept trying to like, no, you're turning it the wrong way. That was a bit of confusion, but then again, that's what Spaceteam's all about.
Engage the fuse cube.
Engaged.
So it just creates a really great excuse for people to yell at each other with great intensity, which is not something that real life tends to offer very much. And it turns out is a really, really fun thing to do. Set fuse vessel to 5.
Set beta flute to 3.
Beta flute set to 3.
Definitely made me feel like I was part of a high pressure environment. You know, like if you see the Bourne movies, like the situation rooms are there, like, you know, tracking Bourne across Berlin or something like that.
Because it's so simple, it's totally up to your imagination.
You don't really feel like you are a commander. It almost feels like the commanders and the co-pilots and all those people, they like had like a really, like a hot dog rich meal, and then they just passed out from overeating. And then we're like the space janitors, and we just jumped in, we're like, oh my God. And that's kind of why all the instructions seem like gibberish. Because like, we don't know this stuff. We pick up space trash in the space hallway. We don't know about this stuff.
You're just so focused on like, what are my controls? What are my controls? You know, what is the instruction? I'm trying to listen to 4 other instructions going into my ears at the same time while still trying to manage my own little screen that like, you do kind of feel like you're right there on the spaceship bridge and not just like some guys hanging out in a room, because you're all just, there's just noise constantly. There's so much you have to manage that you can't focus on anything else than just what's happening right there in the moment.
It provides an immediate and really satisfying level of gameplay. It doesn't have a lot of depth, but what it trades off of that is that is a game that is like super easy to get.
This was like focused entirely on communication. Like there's no room for small talk. And I think that was actually a really interesting way to have voice be an integral part of gaming without sitting alone by yourself, basically. It was really cool.
There is absolutely potential for something like this in a multiplayer game that is more fully featured.
I just think it takes good advantage of the different capabilities of mobile devices in a really interesting way.
I mean, we're talking now about like the PS4 and greater just processing power and graphical power. I am so thankful that in this day and age that it's not all about that. We're still seeing really vibrant, innovative development of games that keep things very simple and straightforward. And I think, yeah, I mean, thank goodness for phones and these kinds of devices that really encourage that kind of development and give people a way to enjoy these games with each other.
Because when you work in this industry, or like you keep up with the industry for long enough, you do start to see certain patterns emerge, and you think to yourself, man, I really could use something fresh and different. And then a little game like Spaceteam comes along. You get that a lot in the indie game space. That's one of the reasons why I really like that scene. It's just like a lot of these smaller, quirkier ideas that are outside of the norm and are refreshing in a way.
Set shift alarm to 2.
Set T-bath to 5.
Disable extra pedal.
Set T-Bath to 5.
This is going to sound dark, but it's like the inevitability of failure. Because it goes on indefinitely and it gets harder and harder, but you're going to lose at some point. And I kind of like this idea that no matter how good you are, you're going to fail, no matter how good of a team you are. Because then you just kind of dust yourself off. You're like, okay, let's be a better space team the next time. But it is kind of a cool rhythm, and you're also kind of always stressed because of it.
Time module.
Oh, everybody flip.
Hollow table, hollow table.
What kids rearrange? T-Bath to 5.
That we grouped arms destroyed to 2.
Set Stump Shell to 0.
Balance the echo feed.
Okay. All right.
Space Team.